Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Lauren Reel, and we have a wonderful show for you today. We're going to be talking with Gildas Club of Madison about the power of cancer support, checking in with our news partner, New Awakenings, and also learning about a new event that the Forward Theater Company is putting on, their Wisconsin Right New Play Festival. But first, I have with me Barbara Schultze from Occupy's Guide Dog Association and a very special guest. Excel, you want to say hello to the camera?
Excel, come on. There we go.
There we go. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. So first off, could you talk to us a little bit about the mission of Occupy's?
The mission of Occupy's is to provide guide dogs for free to Wisconsin's blind.
Wow.
And we do this through a unique program where we actually go to the client's home rather than the client having to go away for school for up to 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. So you take it right to their home, make
Right
it very
to their
comfortable
home.
for them.
Yep.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm very happy to hear that. And also, I know that one thing I noticed about you guys as I was driving around, I saw a billboard. You're celebrating your 10th anniversary, is that right?
Yes, our 10th anniversary.
And you've got a big event going on.
We are so excited. It's
bet.
September 20th, and it's at the Wisconsin Brewing Company.
Oh, wow.
In Verona, and it's from 11 to 3. Admission is free, which is fantastic.
So anyone and everyone's welcome. Just walk
And
on
bring
in.
your dogs.
And bring dogs.
And bring dogs.
Pet friendly, of course.
Absolutely. And we're going to have a costume contest for your dog.
Oh, too fun.
Isn't that fun?
That is great.
So
I can't wait to see some
make sure to bring your
pictures.
dog with a costume.
Yeah, some fun involved, definitely.
What are you doing?
Well, that's going to be just great. So just to get into a little more about Occupy's and what makes you so different, how are you guys different from other guide dog schools?
We are different because we're almost all volunteer based.
It's so impressive.
The only person that's paid is our guide dog mobility instructor. Hi. He's being silly today.
And so then how many volunteers are there about?
Oh, about 70 volunteers.
70 volunteers.
Yeah.
And all throughout the Madison area and the surrounding cities.
And we have a program up in Oshkosh at the Correctional Institution.
I
up
did
in
not even
Oshkosh.
realize that. So
Yeah.
you guys are growing and expanding and
Yeah.
all volunteer work. That's very impressive.
All volunteer.
Very cool. So could we talk a little bit about how much a student or a client might pay for a guide dog?
The dog is free.
Completely free. All the training, everything.
A dog like Excel here is valued at about $30,000, and we give it away to the client for free.
Well, isn't that fabulous? And you might be really helping out some folks who might not be able to have a guide dog either, but could really benefit from one. That's awesome. He's being silly now that we're on camera, huh?
What can you say?
Well, he's still a dog, right? They still like to have some fun.
He's being silly.
So how is Occupy's funded then?
Occupy's is funded through donations, fundraisers, foundations, and individual donations.
So if someone might want to get involved, maybe a viewer at home, they see this and they want to donate to Occupy's, what would they do?
Go to our website.
Go to your website.
And there's a link on how to donate.
Perfect.
And you can also volunteer for us.
Oh, neat. Well,
Come
there you
and
go.
help us at the event.
So you're looking for volunteers for your event?
You betcha.
And that's September 20th,
September
right?
20th.
And
at
it's called
Wisconsin
Pause
Brewing.
Up.
Pause Up.
Pause Up.
Yep.
I love that. Very cool. So that's a lot of great ways for folks to get involved. And you said that different people can foster puppies in their own home. Is that kind of what you were saying to me?
Yep. Fostering, what happens is we'll get an 8-week-old puppy, and then you can take care of that puppy for various periods of time. You take him to work. You could have him here at the studio.
Yeah.
You can train them, and then when they're all done, they become guide dogs.
We're thinking about getting an in-house puppy now at CW57 because of you,
Wouldn't that be
Barbara.
fun?
That would be a
Wouldn't that be fun?
blast. Well, fantastic. Well, I'm so glad we can learn a little more about what volunteer opportunities are available and what you've got coming up at your event. And sounds like you guys are doing a lot of great work in the area.
Yes, we are. We're
That's
just so
fabulous.
proud of doing it. It makes us feel so good to give these dogs away.
And you should. And you should. That's definitely something to be proud of. And I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that are very thankful you're doing it. So thank you so much for coming and chatting with us today about Occupy's. And make sure you guys at home go check out Pause Up on September 20th at the Wisconsin Brewing Company. We're going to be right back with Gildas Club of Madison right here on Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Joining me now is Linnea Stenz, the Executive Director of Gildas Club of Madison. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. So today, let's talk a little bit about the power of cancer support and what you do at Gildas Club. I know it's so important and such a huge topic, but hopefully we can just start to delve in a little bit today.
Absolutely. So Gildas Club Madison exists for people who are facing any kind of cancer at any stage. We work with men, women, kids, and teens with any kind of cancer anywhere along the road. And everything we do is completely no cost. We offer emotional support, cancer education, and opportunities for people to build their wellness throughout their cancer journey.
Oh, wow. So it's really a resource center for them, whether they're at a beginning stage or whether this is something they've been battling, no matter what age they are. That's a fabulous resource to be able to offer folks. And I'm sure it's provided you with a lot of meaningful relationships, too.
Absolutely. It's been an amazing opportunity for me personally with the cancer that's impacted my own family along the way as well.
So you've had some personal experience and you know firsthand how important this can be for some other folks out there in the community.
I have. I lost my mom to pancreatic cancer, which is a particularly tough one.
Yeah, I'm so
and
sorry to
Gildas
hear
Club,
that.
the staff was there to support me during that time. And I've had the opportunity to be a support person for my aunt who lives across the country, who is an 11-plus year lung cancer survivor.
Wow.
So being able to help provide her with some guidance and some opportunities to build on her own wellness along the road.
Certainly. I'm sure you've been a great pillar of strength for her through this as well. So that's wonderful to hear. Now, if someone I know or if maybe a viewer at home knows somebody that's dealing with cancer, what can we do to help get them involved with Gildas Club and take advantage of some of these great resources?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we recommend people do is that they come to a new member meeting. At a different time and a different day every single week, we have new member meetings throughout the month. And again, membership is no cost. The programs we offer are no cost. But when someone attends that new member meeting, they get to learn about all of the many things that we have to offer at Gildas Club, and they can take advantage of as many or as few of those items as they want to.
But it's just an introduction and just kind of putting everything out there on the table and letting them know that everything that you can offer them. And I suppose it's also kind of a gathering place for people who are all going through something, even though it can be very different, they're all going through a journey, and it's a difficult one, and I'm sure having support and knowing other people going through the same thing can be beneficial, right?
Absolutely. And one of the things that makes Gildas Club particularly unique in our community is that we are really the only place where the entire family gathers. So it's not just for the person who's living with cancer, it's for their spouse and their best friend and their children to all come together and be a part of this community.
No, that is very unique, and because I'm sure that, you know, not only is dealing with cancer a journey for the person that is actually going through it, but for their family, their loved ones, that's also quite the journey for them too. And I'm sure that support and going through that with one another can be beneficial too.
Definitely.
Wow, what a neat resource. That's fantastic. So you'd also mentioned that Gildas Club has programs for kids and teens. Can you talk to me a little bit more about those programs?
Absolutely. So once a week we have our family night, and on family night we have volunteers who cook a meal for our members. The members all gather, and then the adults separate out into support groups. Half of them go into two support groups for people living with cancer, half of them go into support groups for their family, friends, and caregivers. During that same time, we have volunteers who supervise the kids who are 0 to 4, and we have professional counselors and therapists that work with our kids who are 4 to 12 in a program called Kid Support. Every week we cover a different topic in Kid Support.
Wow.
Everything from what is cancer, chemotherapy, radiation, to a week on death and dying, and a wide variety of topics so that kids have the opportunity to ask some really tough questions.
And I think that that's really nice that you kind of separate a group out for children, because for them in particular, not only is this an awful thing to be going through or for their friend or loved one to be going through, I mean, it's just really hard for them to grasp, I'm sure, too. Like you had said, there are just so many things that they don't know about, or there might be questions they're afraid to ask, and this kind of provides them with a safe space to learn and to kind of gather with other children that are going through the same thing. So
Exactly. And for our teens, it's much the same.
For teens, absolutely.
They have the opportunity to connect with other teens that either have a parent or a grandparent who's going through cancer. We've had some teens that are dealing with their own illness, but for the most part, our teens and our kids have a parent or grandparent that are dealing with cancer right now.
Well, I'm sure that must be very meaningful for them to be able to go to Gildas.
Definitely.
Now, real quick, I know you have a fundraiser run coming up. Could you tell me really quick about that?
We do. Sunday, October 4th, we have our Gildas Run. It's the 8th annual event, and it's coming up. It starts at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse at 10:30 in the morning on Sunday, and so we'll have everybody out of there before the Packers game.
Priorities for Wisconsinites,
Absolutely.
huh?
And we run through the Conservancy and end in our backyard at Gildas Club with Ruth's Chris Burgers and Culver Sundays and
my gosh.
live music and a big old party.
Well, what a treat.
It's really a wonderful
And I think that's a
opportunity for
great
us.
way to kind of bring some fun and some life to an otherwise sometimes difficult topic, but you guys are making the best of it and doing some wonderful things over there at Gildas Club. So if you guys are interested, make sure you go check out the fundraiser run at October 4th. It starts at Ruth's Chris over in Middleton. Now, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
It was wonderful to learn more about Gildas Club of Madison.
Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town.
Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Stacey Hansen. We've got a great show lined up for you today. My first guest is from New Awakenings. This is Kelly Kinderman. She's the owner as well as a therapist, and she's also one of our news partners. Welcome.
Thank you. Morning.
So today you're talking to us about eating disorders. Can you tell us a
Right.
little bit about what it is? You see a lot of it in the media talking about it, but what truly is the definition?
Right. Eating disorders, you're right, you hear more and more about it now, but they've been around for a long time. But they're a really serious and sometimes life-threatening disturbance in eating patterns. And although they're treatable, they can be really complicated because a lot of times they're working in conjunction with another illness like depression or anxiety and trauma and addiction. So it can get a little bit messy, layered.
And there's a lot of different types too. Can you go into
Right.
kind of explain what those are?
You're right. There's a lot of variations to eating disorders, and it looks different for everyone, but the most well-known ones are anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating disorder. Anorexia is linked to the highest mortality rate for psychiatric disorders. People who suffer from that have a distorted idea of or perception of their body, their weight, and they tie their self-worth to that weight. They restrict their eating, their calories, and it can be really dangerous. Bulimia also is centered around weight control, but it comes from a different angle. It's easier to hide because a lot of times people who suffer from bulimia can keep their average body weight and hide it better, but they'll eat or they'll binge and then they'll force themselves to throw up or use laxatives or other diuretics or exercise excessively to maintain a certain weight. And then binge eating is exactly that. It's loss of control over how much you're eating. And most times people who have problems with binge eating are either overweight or at some point will become overweight or obese. So a lot of medical conditions that go along with that one as well.
Sure. And now, if someone out there is wondering if they have one or a loved one has one, what are some of the symptoms that people can look for?
There's a lot of them, and some are more noticeable, of course, like it's hard to hide excessive weight gain or weight loss, but also a change in social interaction. So if they're avoiding family or friend gatherings, that food is involved. If they're eating in isolation or saying a lot of times, I'm not hungry, I'll eat later, and they're never really sure if they eat. If there's a change in work performance, and more than likely your intimate relationships and friendships will be affected. But some not so noticeable ones are more devastating, actually. It's damage to our brain and our heart and our organs, bone and muscle mass wasting and breaking down, anemia, dehydration, more life-threatening things. With bulimia also looking for if you have a perpetual sore throat or swollen glands, or if you have a decay of the enamel on your teeth from overexposure to our stomach acids. So there's some things that, unless you're really close to somebody, you might not know, you might not notice, but they can be more devastating in the long run.
What types of people are the most likely to suffer from this? Is it mostly women? Is it a certain type of person, like maybe a really type A type of person? Oh.
Well, there is definitely a lot of research to try and find out, or to try and pinpoint some biological markers or social environmental things. But research does show that girls are 2.5 times more likely to have an eating disorder in their lifetime. Frequently it starts in adolescence or in your teen years, but I think it would be foolish to ignore these signs in anybody because anybody's susceptible to it, because it's not really about the eating or the food, right? It's more about some underlying internal struggle that they're going through. So I think everybody should be aware of watching for these signs with anybody in your life.
How is it treated then? Is this something that you can treat or that you can get over?
It is treatable. Unfortunately, there is a mortality rate attached to eating disorders because if they're long-term, there's other damage done to your body. But it is treatable. First and foremost, in severe cases, I would say seeking medical attention to stabilize your health again. In the context of therapy, I personally would use mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy to address some of the negative self-talk and perceptions they have of themselves, and then utilizing a nutritionist. But I think it's important to have a team of people helping, not just one.
Well, thanks so much, Kelly. It's really
Yeah.
good to get this information
Thank
out there,
you.
and maybe we help
Yes,
some people today.
It is important. Thank you for having me and allowing me to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. And
Yep.
stay tuned. We'll have more Talk of the Town right after this.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Joining me now are some folks from the Forward Theater Company talking about a brand new event called the Wisconsin Writes New Play Festival. Welcome to the show. Thank you guys for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Well, so from left to right, let's do a little introduction. We have Jen, the artistic director. Jess, you're a participating actor, is that correct?
Yes,
And then
correct.
Karen, you're a playwright.
Yes.
So we've got lots of different perspectives here. It's wonderful to have you guys all joining us.
Yeah.
So to start off, Jen, what is Wisconsin Writes, and how did Forward Theater become involved with this project?
Sure. Well, Wisconsin Writes is a 3-day festival celebrating new plays and supporting Wisconsin playwrights. So it gives Forward the chance to invest in local writing talent. It gives playwrights the rare opportunity to develop their work with professional actors and directors. And it gives
Absolutely.
audiences a peek behind the scenes of the new play writing process.
That's very neat, and what a great thing from all perspectives. For you guys, for new playwrights, for actors, everybody's got a
It
great
really
opportunity
is.
to get involved.
Plays are by nature the result of a collaboration between writers, the actors and directors and designers who work on their plays, and most importantly, the audience. And so a staged reading gives the playwrights the chance to directly hear from an audience what's working and what maybe isn't yet about their plays.
Absolutely, and get some immediate feedback.
Yeah.
So can you talk to us a little bit and tell the viewers at home what plays you're presenting this year?
Yes, so we have 3. Starting on Thursday, October 1st, the play festival kicks off with Karen's play, In a Clearing. Then on Friday, October 2nd, we've got a play called Faithless by Cedarburg, Wisconsin author Michael Proft. That's more of a sort of historical drama about Mary Baker Eddy, who founded Christian Science. I learned a lot
So
reading it.
interesting, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so I'm excited. And then on the third night, Saturday, October 3rd, it'll be the first public reading of Forward's first commissioned play. It's an adaptation of a novel by Madison author Aaron Solello. It's about a military family, and it's being adapted by James DeVita from APT. And so
What
this
a
will be the first
fantastic
reading
variety.
of that. Oh yeah, they're
That
really
is
all
so cool.
different, which is kind of the point of a festival like
Absolutely,
this.
definitely. There's no reason not to go every single day of the
Exactly.
festival.
I like the way you think.
So now, Karen, you're a playwright. Can you tell me a little bit about what you hope to get out of this experience?
Well, what I can hope will happen is that my play will benefit from all this wonderful feedback from
certainly.
experts in the industry, so that I will have a finished product that I can ultimately feel very confident submitting for a full production eventually in time.
Certainly. What a way to do kind of a rough draft. This is such a unique opportunity, and I think you're going to benefit so much. So that's wonderful to
Exactly.
hear.
I'm very excited about it.
Very cool. Well, congratulations
Thank
on having
you.
your play featured, and you're going to be the first one, October 1st, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Very cool. So now, Jess, can we talk a little bit about you as an actor, and tell me a little bit about what it's like to work on a staged reading?
It's very different than a more traditional performance because it's a shorter rehearsal time. I don't have to have a fear of forgetting lines. I always have a script right in front of me. I don't get any fun costumes or props, but I also it's a different thing. It's a much more streamlined process.
So there's some pros and cons to that for sure. You've got the script right in front of you, no fun costumes.
That's all right.
But that is a great way to, I think, practice and just kind of keep honing your craft. So that's very, very cool.
Definitely.
Now, Jen, can you tell me about what the audience can expect when they come to a Wisconsin Writes reading?
Sure. Well, you'll come in and you'll see actors reading from their scripts. They may be sitting in chairs, they may be standing around music stands, there might be a little movement, but really it's about the words. And then what happens is after the reading, there's a talk back with the writer, and it's a chance for audience members to share their responses. What excited them, what engaged them, what maybe confused them about the story. And this is the invaluable feedback that the writers get. And then the Wisconsin Union, where we're having these readings, they're actually generously sponsoring receptions after the talkbacks so that the actors and authors and audience can all mingle and chat with each other in a more informal way. And so it's going to be a lovely full evening each night.
Absolutely. And also, you know, what a unique opportunity for the audience. I think that's a really cool thing to be able to participate and give your feedback as well. So that's great that you're offering that. Now, last but not least, could you guys talk to us about how we would get tickets? I mean, you've caught my interest, so I know you've caught the viewers at home too. Can you talk to us about how they get tickets and get access to the festival?
Sure. You can find more information online at forwardtheater.com. You can also purchase tickets directly from the Memorial Union box office. There is a limited number of tickets, and there is a fair chance that these might sell out, so we definitely would encourage people to buy in advance.
Absolutely. Well, that is wonderful, and I'm so glad I could learn more, and I look forward to hopefully seeing one of your shows on the October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We've got Jen, Jess, and Karen from Forward Theater. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is all we have for this episode of Talk of the Town. Thank you to all of our guests for joining us, and thank you to the viewers at home for tuning in. We'll catch you next time right here on Talk of the Town on CW 57.